Yeah, so here we are, and this is now we're on episode. What episode now? Did we jump a number?
We may have, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So
Because this now is
we're moving that fast.
Chad, what episode is this, Chad?
156.
156. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Excellent.
Good morning, people. Again,
Welcome back.
hi.
same shirt.
Happy
Englewood.
Tuesday. Oh, there you go.
We haven't
Different
changed outfits since you last saw us. We're on a laundry strike, so that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were in the recording studio recently. We haven't really talked about this on the show
that's-
yet.
That's why we're here.
That's true.
Edgewater.
Edgewater Studios down in Sugarland.
Is that a band?
Yeah.
That was Edgebrook. Was the other one.
See.
Yeah. John Shelton, our engineer there, was talking about they're going to be moving again. I was like, are you going to keep the name Edgebrook? Because that's the name of the street that they're on. So that was very good.
Edgewater.
Sorry, yeah. What? See what I've done?
Yeah, I see what you've done.
That's what these edgy names do.
And what shirt are you wearing, Chad?
This is the Englewood.
Okay.
The Englewood.
The Edgewood.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Englebrook. No,
and her.
the Englewater.
Make sure you have the right name next time you call them.
Yeah. The very, very great, very, very wonderful place in Hershey, Pennsylvania that we played at last year.
Yeah, stop touching yourself. That's kind of weird.
I kind of like it.
Well, I know, but this is not for us. This is for them. Come on.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right.
I'll move below frame.
Well, you always do. How was the experience at the studio?
I thought it was great.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, after we had great times with Paul, and one of the reasons we went to Edgewater is that right? Did I say it right that time? Paul Beebe's doesn't really have a recording studio right now. He's in the process of setting up his new location. But how did you find out about this place, Patrick?
No, Eric knows.
Eric.
Mark, our good friend Mark Riddell just recorded from there, and Eric had heard the record.
Okay.
You'd heard you heard the whole CD, correct?
Yeah, it's great.
Is it available online anywhere yet?
He should be releasing it soon.
Okay, because y'all were talking about it at the session, and I went to see if I could find it. I realized it's not out yet.
No, it's not out yet. He's still doing some fine touches on some art stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's all mastered and ready to roll from a sonic standpoint. But I think just the packaging and stuff like that. And I think he's doing a few LPs, which of course we know are challenging enough to.
Good luck there.
To get in these day and age. So definitely be a CD and a digital. I think the digital download is going to be ready any day now. But
good. Okay, cool.
And it's more of a pet project for him. You know, he wasn't looking to create a solo career or nothing like that. He had these songs that he had written and they're very interesting. Very, very a lot of stuff will sound familiar to a lot of people. Like you'll hear he's kind of more of a 90s kind of kid, but the better stuff from the 90s, if that makes any sense. And I mean, it's kind of a rough decade for music anyway. But if you listen to it, I heard a lot of tinges of different cool stuff from the 90s. So
like what? Just outside,
like a lot of that, some of that, Peter Murphy kind of stuff, and his voice kind of sounds like that first Charlie Sexton record, "Beats So Lonely." That when Charlie was like 16 years old and trying to be like wasn't quite sure if he was a glam rockabilly guy or a Texas guy or whatever. So kind of that Elvis kind of ho 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 kind of sound.
Okay.
So
you're talking about Peter Murphy from Bauhaus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the Peter Murphy solo stuff has got that kind of the sound that a lot of stuff that Mark sound like. That's what I heard anyway. Cause I'm
interesting.
I'm old and I know Peter Murphy.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mark is one of the local guys here in Houston. Just every time you look up, when the band needs just a top drawer, no messing bass player, they call Mark, and he's just worked with everybody in the town. He's just one of these guys. It's just and every time you see him, he looks more at home in the band than the rest of the band. It's just it's quite a feat to see that.
I remember that when I first met him. years ago when he and Matt Johnson stopped in to see us play at Fido one night because they were both playing with Mike Stinson
McStimlin
down the road somewhere at Antone's, maybe. I don't remember where it was, but so Mark, like you say, every time you look up, who's the bass player? Oh, it's Mark.
Well, it's funny because I don't want to suck Mark's dick for too much longer, but there was a point
stop? It's Tuesday.
When I was still playing with Mike and Mark had just come into the band, and there was a conversation with me and Mike and Lance about we probably should fire Mark because he's terrible. And
really?
Then Mark, oh yeah, this is back a long time ago, like 2010 maybe, something like that. And Mark walked in as we were talking, and we all went, "Oh, hey, Mark," kind of a thing. And he heard what we were talking about, and he like turned a corner right away. And I kind of think it's one of those moments that we all have in our lives when somebody says something to us about like, "Hey, get your shit together," and it finally clicks. And it becomes a point where whatever we're doing, doesn't have to be music, could be anything. You start to do that particular thing way better. And I think that was Mark's turning point, was us basically saying, "You're not cutting it. You've got a week to get your shit together." And he went home and he shedded, and he came in the next gig and tore it up. And I think from that point on, as Patrick and both you guys said, like whenever you look up and you see Mark on the stage, you know that at least the bass chair is in good hands,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was really, really happy to see it. We've seen our friend Mighty Orc go through a lot of lineup changes, and particularly probably more bass player changes than drummer changes. And to see him with Mark now is great. And Chris Ardoin, I know for a fact that Orc is the happiest he's been because that's what he says. This is the best it's ever been.
But back to the studio, Chuck.
Yes. So that was my first meeting with John Shelton. That was the first time I've ever met him. And just right off the bat, if you're going to have a studio, if you're going to be the front, if you're going to be the face of the studio and you're going to be the inner workings of the studio, you should probably learn how to be like John. It was one of those moments where you just walk in and you can just dump your shit on the ground and just go, let's go here. Everywhere was comfortable. Everywhere was ready to go. The rooms sounded great. There was no. It's just. I mean, it's a joy to. I consider us as being decent in the studio. I would give us maybe a B plus. It'd be nice. B is that one, right? B is the one that's
a straight line with two lines going the other way. Yeah.
What a silly bunt. When you have that knowledge and just that do that. I mean, just it's a joy because you're not worried about tone and we already knew the song, but having somebody being able to go in there and just pick out the best, and again having a complete newbie, somebody that he's seen us play before, he'd seen us a few times, and that's always. This many years into it, I'm always still like, really? I didn't know anybody, but it's funny that he knew us and he knew what we do. However, he was completely new as far as he didn't know what song we were doing, what we're going for. And, but seconds into it, I could hear him going, okay, we're checking stuff, and he's going, yeah, this sounds cool. I mean, he's the fourth member, at that moment, because we're not just three people just banging out chords. I mean, we're now it's taken shape because he's got and his ideas were not, hey, let's do this. He was this is what I'm hearing. Do you want to get me? We want to give it a shot. When you're that you're that expedient, but you're also that your ears are that big that you want to, I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was definitely very quickly leaning in the production. When you're recording a session, one of those guys, you can be engineer or you can be producer, and he was definitely leaning very comfortably in the producer direction quite frequently during the session, helping us, particularly when we got to the point where we're tracking guitars. He had a lot of different ideas for ways to fatten up the sound, and we're still waiting to hear the mix of this, but I can't wait because it's going to be this symphony of just awesome guitar tones on this song.
That's what Eric had said when he had heard the record. He said that the guitars are really big, and we're essentially when you're working with a 3-piece is difficult. A 3-piece is not an easy band to play in, and bands like ZZ Top, of course, and I have a hard time push. I don't like to say Rush because I don't know enough about them. I was never a fan, but again, there's nothing simple about that. And again, with Geddy Lee doing the Moog or whatever it is on the floor, as well as the bass, and I like the simplicity of it. But then again, I love of course a 6-member Iron Maiden band but he already saw what we're going for, and he knew us, so he knew it was going to be a rock song. But he also knew enough not to go, "Hey guys, why don't you scrap that and let's try to pick it up as a." There was nothing like that, and everything. The biggest ears and the best minds, I think, let you nail it down. And if you're missing something, they can ask if you'd like to add it, and that's what it seemed like he did.
100%. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, I thought it was great. And the funniest part was when we finished the end of the day, we roll up by my house, and I guess Chad had posted something online or something, and I get a text from Paul. He goes, "Oh, Edgewater, huh?" I was like, "You kicked us out, Dad." Yeah. Very cool. But yeah, the drum sounds, I mean, just, we left there with everything raw and essentially just lying in piles. And he knew what he was doing. He knew immediately how to build this thing together, how to put it together. But yeah, very, very impressive.
Yeah. I dug that very much. So hopefully we'll be able to spend some more time with John for the next couple months.
And that's why I asked Isaiah Skill, who's a drummer, obviously here in town, and he plays at that studio a lot. So I asked Isaiah, so I go, "Is there a house kit?" He said yes. I said, "Okay, cool. I want to use that set of drums because they've probably already got it dialed in." And it took 5 minutes, 6 minutes to get the drum sound, maybe even if it was that long. Okay, play that tom. Okay, play that tom. Play the tom back and forth. Okay, play around the kit. Okay, hold on. Okay, one more time. Okay, cool. We got it. Yeah, because he knows that drums. He knows those drums. He knows how they sound. Yes, and they sound great. It was a great PDP kit by Pacific Drum Company, which is owned by GW. So there's a shameless plug right there. So you can know the drums are going to sound good anyway. And that snare drum was kind of ridiculous. So I started as the guitar parts were being layered and layered, and I had plenty of time to lay on the couch and think about my life's choices. I was Googling aluminum snare drums for about an hour. Not that I need another snare drum, but that one sounded really good.
It did. Yeah.
It did.
It's funny. On our Patreon, we have a 20-minute little documentary of our session that day, and you hear Patrick at least on 2 occasions remark on how good the snare is.
It's rare that a snare is fair. No, it's just rare that it just sounds like that. It sounds like the note. It sounds like it's playing in the key of the song.
That was kind of why I kind of caught a glimpse of that too. Like when we first started playing, I was like, this sounds like it's in tune with the actual song, which is crazy weird because drums.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, sometimes studio guys are like, okay, what key is it in? G. Okay, well, I'll tune the toms, G, B, D, F or whatever. They'll make a chord out of the toms, which I'm just like, maybe that matters. I don't know if it really does or not. But that, like Patrick said, that snare did sound like whatever key we were in. It sounded like it belonged.
It really did. And actually, our good friend and the frequently mentioned June Narnia, she is a stickler for that. And when we were doing Blagmatic, asked me what the bass drum was tuned to. Got that ear, and that's. I mean, that's got to be a curse.
It was tuned to the key of kick.
Yes. K or C. Yeah, that must be a curse, though. I mean, how can you enjoy, a good Kiss record? If you're I'm just kidding. Nobody can enjoy a good Kiss record.
You're saying it's a good Kiss record.
Yeah, that's the first problem.
Although I did listen to Destroyer the other day, and it's still not bad. It's weird compared to the rest of their records, but it's not It's weird in the sense that it's more, for lack of a better term, completely orchestrated. Like there's actually a lot of cohesion to it, but that's Bob Ezrin's, the producer came in and said, this is how you make a record. And they're like, oh, what's this? A studio with plugs and shit? So Destroyer still, in my eyes, kind of holds up, but the rest of it's dumb.
Yeah. Dumb. It's tough to listen to, and I was thinking about that the other day. I'm usually, or let's not say usually, just say always, saying, well, I grew up across the sea, so I didn't get a lot of stuff. That's not true. I mean, I figured it out the other day. I'm only 1,000 years old, and I finally figured. But the records were there, but it just wasn't. It wasn't in our
in your circle.
Yeah, and so we never. And I saw those records. I saw the album covers. I think my sister. I have some older sisters, and one of them had Kiss Alive. And I remember looking at the sleeve, thinking, "What's this?" and putting it on and going, "Oh, that's awful." I mean, Paul Stanley. I mean, I've heard Stanley Hammers sound better than that. I mean, and beating a skull. I mean, it was just. I couldn't stand his voice. And I said, "What's he doing in rock? Shouldn't he be in a pantomime somewhere or selling nail polish?" I mean, it was awful. That fucking screech and that. So I just couldn't get into that. But the other thing was, like, there was we called them the American bands. The hair bands was just everybody had tons of hair, most of the bands. But those Kiss and Motley Crue and Poison and all that stuff, it just never drifted in front of. We just didn't know about it. And then, of course, when I moved to the States and MTV was playing, all those Poison songs, it's like, is this a joke? Are they trying to make me leave? This is terrible.
And you moved to Florida too, which is like,
yeah,
they love that stuff down there.
Yes. Yeah. That's those nightclubs. I have to say, I had a ball. I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
But I had an absolute, because the 80s never ended. Down there, I got there.
They still haven't, I don't think. Some parts of it.
I know. It's there's actually some clubs here in town too. I saw some videos from a tribute band, and they did the 12 people in the audience, and they were in 1982. I mean, every one of them was crazy. I'm going tomorrow.
You should.
Indeed. But that studio is definitely. It's another instrument. It really is. It's like having another, just whole palette to work with, because we're definitely, like I said before, we're not new to the studio, and we're definitely proficient, but having the luxury of, just back and forth. I mean, just, so we recorded it live, and he separates the vocals just so, just for clarity and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But still, it's just such a joy, because you really do. You get to look in at your work, from a whole different perspective, with that, professionalism thrown in, but it's just really, really exciting. So I think this is going to be one where like you said, the big guitars and yeah. And then Liam's our last episode with Liam Leach on it. Chad used that bass that Liam made, and I remember looking at Chad going, what is wrong with that? What's wrong with that bass? It sounds great. It just started it. Just turn it on. Don't. What?
Yeah.
So right there out the bat, nothing on it. Just like, oh.
I don't think there was much that John had needed to do to it, but he took I had it going through my Tech 21 fly rig. And then he also got a direct signal straight from the bass at the same time. And I think he just blended those two. And the tone was just so great. It just was dead on. Love it.
Quite.
But what I like too about that set, that studio, is that we had control over our monitor mixes, which it's a little, that's a time saver for one thing, but it's also just kind of relaxing knowing that in the middle of in the middle of a session, if I need to turn something down or turn something up, I have control over it, and I don't have to stop. Wait.
Yeah, those are definitely a genius idea. I don't know why more studios don't have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it really is. I'm looking forward to doing more sessions. Of course, I'm always ready to record, but we're going to do this a lot now. We're going to record quite a few singles here, in order. I think as far as there's some new stuff, and there's some new stuff coming, and there's some stuff that people have heard before that we're going to just reconfigure, I guess. But I think the way to go forward is to release single. Just keep doing it like that versus the going in and doing the record. I still like, we were talking about Mark Riddell. When the physical CD is available, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's still how I listen to music. I have nothing on my phone. I have no song, no music on my phone. I've got no, porn takes up a lot of space, kids. So, but so I want to do I just want to do I want to get the CD, and I want to get the LP too when it comes out. But again, it's nice having those singles just come out, just kind of give them a break. So you don't have, 15 songs, oh, that's a funny title, I'll go to that one. And then you kind of miss the layout of the record. You just do it as we feel.
Well, plus we've got so many songs that we've been playing for a long time, and it's like this one that we did is Black and Tans, Come Out You Black and Tans, which is it feels like a traditional song. I don't know if it's actually the public domain. Dominique Bien wrote that song, and apparently I was reading about it. Apparently, it's actually the melody's a really old melody that goes back to the 1800s or something. But we have a lot of songs like that probably won't ever wind up being on an actual studio record, but still should, why not put them out? Right now it's so easy to put stuff out just everywhere. So yeah, we're hoping this one will be up by Patty's Day. So it just really depends on John's schedule at this point, I think. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I agree. As much time as we can spend in the studio, the better. And we have no shortage of things to record.
And before, it was, you would really have to allot yourself, a couple of weeks or more, if you're going to do a whole record. And now it's not a case. I mean, we went down there from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we were done. We had the song tracked and ready to go. So essentially we can, there's, I think with John's idea to add these different layers of guitar, I still think that we could have knocked out 2 songs that day. I'm just saying, it's not a cutting corners thing. It's just he has a sound for that. And you if that guy that's, he's putting the picnic together, you better let him do it, because you're going to eat a whole lot better if you listen to him.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time we can just, when we're doing the drums, we can just, when we got a solid take, we'll just move on to the next one before we move on.
Yeah.
That way, at least we have it in the can. We can come, return to it later or not.
Yes, please.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice too. We're on the edge of town. We're Edgewater's so far out of town that you kind of you have a little bit more breathing room out there. It's a little bit, so you're not stuck looking for parking, or you just really, you have quite an area to go play. So
yeah,
it's nice. Oh, must be said. We want to push everybody towards our mailing list.
Yes.
Again, it's fallen through the cracks. People have called us and said, "Hey, we didn't know you were playing here." And I can't stress it enough. If you're not on the mailing list, I beg you to get on the mailing list. We don't send out an email for every show, or it's once a week, maybe at the worst. And one, push you towards that, and then 2, there's a lot of shows that we're adding. And as you saw a few episodes ago, we had Heidi Riggs on here. She's going to be with us for a while in March, and she's coming in from Phoenix. And we've played with her before, and you you will not be let down. She's a monster player. She's a ton of fun to perform with, and she's another one that knows her stuff. She's not, she's no slacker. So
freaking wrote a book about Irish fiddling.
Wrote a book. There you go.
Speaking of that, how was the Big Easy, young ECH?
It was fun. We got a lot of work done, and then we started to not feel so great towards the end of the week, and we started getting a bunch of notices on our phones that you may have been exposed to COVID. This message from the state of Louisiana. So we opted to head out a little bit and not stay. And like the club opened up last night, and I think it was sold out. And we were going to go to that, but we opted to stop and come home a little bit early.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just due to some exposure stuff. Leslie took an at-home test yesterday. She's fine. We're going to go get tested tomorrow over at the curative location again. So just to make sure everything's safe and cool, And I was telling Chad before we got on, like basically all the work that we had to do, that we were asked to do, was pretty much done anyway. So it would have been just hanging out, which is fun, and going to the show, which is fun. But, being in a room with 300 people, not wearing masks, we opted to be like, let's err on the side of safety. So we came home.
So what's the club?
Club is called the Blue Nile up on Frenchman Street. And it's a friend of ours. The wife, Michelle, and Leslie were housemates back in the day, back when Leslie used to live in New Orleans. And so we went over there to give him a helping hand. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And the Blue Nile, live music.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's live music, but it's sort of like the Continental in Austin. Like every week, it's pretty much the same kind of lineup. Like Wednesday is this guy, Thursday is this. Well, actually, excuse me. They're only, for now, they're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But so it'll be kind of the same lineup going forward. And then as time progresses and things hopefully calm down, he'll open up more. Kermit Ruffins is a pretty big name in that area, and Kermit usually plays like on Tuesdays or something like that. So he'll get him back in on Tuesday, and it's always a sold out show when Kermit plays. So
wow,
that's a great name.
A lot of brass bands, a lot of funk bands, and stuff like that. So
in New Orleans, that's weird.
I know, strange. Who'd have thunk it?
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. So the club that I mentioned to you, DBA, is like 2 doors down from there. So it's kind of on. So how Bourbon kind of goes this way, and then Frenchman Street's a few blocks towards the river, and then up a little bit, and it's sort of. I hate to use the term like a mini Bourbon, but because it's not. It's usually that's where you can find better, more authentic music.
Yes.
Whereas on Bourbon, they're playing a lot more cover band kind of stuff, like the stuff we just talked about earlier. But Frenchman, you'll still find more of the traditional New Orleans, either the Dixieland stuff or the funk stuff or like the brass band stuff.
Okay.
Now. So, yes, sirs.
Good.
And now
I miss that town. I like it. Actually, it was my kids that had relit the spark or relit the flame of New Orleans. I was kind of burned out in it. I've been quite a few times, but I went with them, and they kind of, hey, let's do this. This is so it was a lot more fun.
Oh yeah,
and but yeah, great people. I always get in trouble for saying it, but I can't shut my mouth. I think the food is better here in Houston. I just of course we have more of it, but we have and the food is great, absolutely great. But I've been to the really good restaurants there, and we're better. But it's still a joy to go there, especially this time of year. You walk around without getting carried away by mosquitoes or sweating to death. Mm-hmm. It's just a great town.
Yeah.
Lot of
and it's Mardi Gras season too. So this parade's starting to happen. I think this weekend they start to really kick into high gear.
Yeah,
and they'll run for about a month or so, and it's always Leslie says it best. She says there's something to be said about like for Mardi Gras Day. There's something to be said about an entire city that will shut down just so people can party.
Yeah.
And whether you're into that or not, it's just kind of an interesting way to look at it. Like, okay, nothing is open. Schools are closed. Banks are closed. I think firemen and policemen are the only ones that are working that day, and bar staff and restaurant staff. It's so
and ER.
and
Yeah, they're
gentlemen, man, your stomach pumps.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're back. Good to be back. Good to be back home.
Yeah, good. And a side note too, does Leslie, does she have stuff online? Does she have a website or?
She does.
Yeah, we'll just email to us because I'd like to put that in the link too. I think she's doing some really special stuff. I mean, it's not stuff I've seen before. It's raising a lot of eyebrows in a good way. I'd like to show our gang the.
She's showing at Sawyer Yards for the next 2 months, and then she's doing the first Saturday Arts Market up on 19th Street. So
good.
I'll text you her. I think it's LD Haven, ldhavenfineart.com. I think that's what it is. It seems like when she first started, she was changing it a bunch of times. So I think that's what she settled on. So but I'll text Chad a link to it.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Please. I mean, and she's doing well. She's doing really well. So and she's got a new thing now. She's kind of every couple of months she sort of changes direction. I got nothing I can show you right now, but it's cool stuff.
Does she have stuff in the Blue Nile? Did she put stuff up there? Did you bring?
Actually, they said they had either bought some pieces, and they want to put them up in the box office. When you walk up to the box office window, you'll see them right behind the person that's selling tickets. So, and I think that's kind of a cool idea to kind of. They have a lot of the club itself is very there's murals on the ceiling that have been there for 1,000 years, and there's a big mural on the side walls. So. I think the only really place to put the art was somewhere that was safe, first of all.
Yeah.
So the box office seemed like the most logical choice. So they're going to hang them up there. I think once they get, after this weekend, they can start fine tuning all the stuff in the venue and then they can put the yard up and stuff like that.
Excellent.
Yes,
excellent.
sir.
Yeah. So a couple of points of business for all you crazy kids out there is one is, well, we've already mentioned the mailing list, but I beg you, if you're not on the mailing list, get on the mailing list. And then the other thing is Pickle Jar. What's Pickle Jar? Well, the band is signed up for it, and it's essentially just it's brand new. And Vicente, that he did our artwork, our album, as you've seen 1,000 times by now. He's involved in this. This is a ground floor project that he's involved in. He's been calling us and saying, "Hey, we got to get you on here," and blah blah blah. And it just seems like a really cool little. It's going to have bands. Obviously, it's going to have venues and whatnot, and giveaways and stuff like this. It's essentially for musicians right now. But I'm thinking down the road, I think that they're going to morph into, and this is just me yapping. This is just me and my good friend Doug just yapping here, but. It's going to, I think it's going to in turn bring people like Leslie in and stuff like this, and art shows and music, but they really are, they're about the artist.
It's essentially a tipping platform.
Yeah, and it's but it also looks to me like they're going to be focusing on the venues and the bands and just Vicente was just telling me some of these giveaways that they were doing, and it's just they have some great backers. They have a lot of investors coming in and whatnot. So if you're curious, just head over to Pickle Jar, sign up, and you don't have to be a musician. But I'm trying to push my musician friends towards it. Sounds like it's going to be a great deal. The other thing is the coffee. We're still doing coffee, and we're actually going to Nebraska to Hill of Beans in February. We're going up there. We're going to actually taste. They have some coffee for us that we're going to taste, and they want to add to our line. So Blaggards Brew right now is it's still going well. It tastes wonderful. So we're going up there, and we're going to meet the crew. We haven't met them yet. And Sienna Francis House, who we benefit with this coffee, we're going to meet them, and we're going to do a benefit with them in a place called Roast Coffee in Omaha. That's going to be on Sunday, February, and forget the date. But the dates will be there, and we're pushing our brew on you.
Roast Coffee is on the 7th?
7th.
Monday the 7th.
All right.
Is roast coffee.
Oh, that's right. Monday the 7th. Excuse me. Sunday is a Dubliner. The Dubliner.
That is true.
Yes.
In Omaha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Early show, kids.
Yes.
All dates can be found on blaggards.com or in the email if you sign up.
Yes.
Do
yes.
it.
There are new tour dates being added every week, and pretty much the only guaranteed way you can stay in the loop is to join the mailing list because, as we said before, we cannot rely on social media anymore because they don't have your best interests at heart, but we do. So,
true.
There you go.
That's exactly right.
Blaggards.com.
Yeah. I would just tell you that there's a lot of really, really fun stuff coming up. We're just so excited about getting back on the road. And the dates are being staggered and added late and whatnot. We've been shuffling stuff around because still people are, clubs are unsure of the climate and how and what to do, how to do it and when to do it and why, so, but the weekly or bi-weekly email list will keep you current. So,
yeah, going forward too, I'm going to be using, if you put your zip code in when you sign up, that will allow me to target different areas, so like if I have a notice that's only for Houston or it's only for Dallas, I'm only going to send it to people who have zip codes in Dallas. So that way, I know it's been annoying in the past. Well, I used to send mailers out every week, no matter where we were playing. And that's not always going to be useful for everybody. So I try to keep the amount of emails, conservative, just so you're not getting spammed by, repetitive information or useless information.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So
I like spam.
But we're can't wait for you to, as soon as we get a clip too, as soon as we get a clip of the song, we'll post something and let you hear it. But I'm dying for this to come back and see what you think.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And
don't go changing.
Don't. Yeah.
Oh, you stole your line.
So we'll get to. That's the new tune.
That's the Blaggards patch. That's now our bumper music.
Yes.
We bump out.
Play them off. Play them off. All right. Thanks for listening.
See you next week.
See y'all soon.
Gary Coleman. Gary Sinise.
Oh no, the Coleman was the part that scared me.
Yeah, the Gary Coleman, that would be weird.
I don't know. He wouldn't take up much time.
Well,
or space.
Hey.